All right, welcome to Interchain FM, everyone. I'm your host, Chango and Chain. I know that it is a tough time right now for everyone, so just hang in there. Just a reminder: this is only money, and all of this is cyclical. We may be going into a bear market, but come the next bull market, you will be able to make your money back. What's important is that you keep the skills and the lessons that you learned from this market, bring it back stronger and more powerful during the next market, and you will survive. You'll not just survive, but you will win, right? Just remember that you are young. If you're not young but disease free, that you have health, and that's all you can ask for. That's as much as you can be grateful for, right? I was looking up random diseases yesterday. I was looking up ALS and multiple sclerosis. Those things don't have any genetic components, but they spin up randomly in your body, and suddenly you have a chronic disease. And if you don't have any of that, you are rich. So just remember, this is a temporary thing. It's only money, and money comes and goes. So just stick with us. Okay, so this is going to be an NFT showcase right now. The question is, how are you going to know which NFTs to bet on, whether or not they are going to turn into the next blue chip Bored Ape yacht clubs? You don't really know. So right now, all you could do is bet on the ones that you think are beautiful and have an emotional connection to. So we're going to showcase 4 such NFT projects today in the cosmos, and we'll bring them up one by one. So the first one we're going to bring up is called DJz of DGEN, and they are an AR NFT project that's on Secret Network. So, yep, let's get to it. We're going to have McLiquid on. What's up, McLiquid?
G'day. It's MC Liquid, I beg your pardon.
Oh, MC Liquid. Very cool. Okay, so why don't you give us an intro about your project, and I'll showcase what.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll try to be brief, at least sort of the backstory. So we actually launched a project last year during last year's correction, which wasn't a lot of fun, but it was a DEX we launched, and part of our profile was actually pseudonymous. So the whole idea, I think a lot of people confused with anonymity and pseudonymity. The difference being is pseudonymity, you have a reputation behind your character, whatever that is. One of my mates who brought me into the project didn't want to FUD his other project that he was working on. So we came up with these profiles, and I sort of took it one step further with AR avatars. And so when we launched that project, it didn't do as well as we hoped, but it's actually still moving along. And we spun this out as what we thought was a clear use case for AR and NFTs, which they're starting to pop up sort of a little bit here and there. And then late last year, we were going to launch an Ethereum, and Ethereum, I mean, for all kinds of reasons, it's a bit of a shit show. I mean, it's just obviously a very congested network. It's very noisy with all the other NFT projects. And I've actually, my biggest bag is Atom, and so was already in kind of Cosmos from an investing standpoint. Then I started, hey, look, why don't I just go all in and start looking at where we would be best suited. And we looked at Secret. Secret, I think, is pretty much hand in glove for us. I mean, from a values perspective, and then just obviously from a technology perspective, and then obviously Stash, looking at their marketplace, and they were the first in the Cosmos ecosystem to launch NFT platform. So that's kind of where we are today. We're going to be launching we're going to be minting in 4 weeks. Exact date TBD. But the big idea with it's not just pseudonymity, which is a big part of our ethos. We were largely inspired by Balaji Srinivasan. He was former CTO of Coinbase. He's been developing this thesis over last 3-4 years of this called the pseudonymous economy. And largely what's predicated on the fact that right now, as we're rapidly evolving what Web3 is, and we're building out Web3, what's becoming immediately apparent is you're going to have to separate your IRL, your real life identity, from your digital identity. And I think we're demonstrating use case for what that would look like. Because I mean, it's fine to have a JPEG, but if you want to have that human connection, how are we going to evolve it? And that's just sort of our pointy end. But the big idea, the big picture thing, the thing that we really get excited about is AR as a technology, and AR even as a platform. I think we haven't quite gotten there yet. I mean, it's ubiquitous through Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, but we've just barely scratched the surface. And this, for us, is a proof of concept to be able to bring that into crypto.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to bring up my AR pseudonymous NFT.
Woo! Looks amazing.
Thank you so much. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Artie, which was the artist that designed this sweet Fox NFT. So where does this lie on the blockchain? Like what actually goes on the blockchain? Like, how do I prove that this is mine?
That's a great. So that, I think we're a little bit ahead of the curve on that, right? And so conceptually, right? So right now, what we're doing, this is being rendered through Snapchat. Snapchat is easily one of the most advanced AR, I would say, I guess AR platform, for one of a better term. But I mean, they're not wholly an AR platform, but because they're the ones that have invested a lot of R&D and resource into this, obviously filters are huge, right? So this is being rendered through Snapchat, which is not decentralized. Ideally, what we're working towards is where this would be rendered outside of any centralized platform and unlockable through a wallet, right? So what we're doing right now, we're actually building a prototype. We've already started on the specs. This is super alpha, by the way. And the idea is that we'll have something that will be unlockable. Now, this is a whole, to understand all the mechanics of even how to do this, which is why it's much easier to go through Snapchat's ecosystem at this stage. But I think what we want to do is get people excited about the possibilities. And imagine now if this is entirely outside of any platform, whether it's Meta, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. But imagine that we can do these things and own. I think most importantly, the thing that excites me is right now you can't buy these, right? So imagine now AR plus NFTs. Now you have an ecosystem of AR, and I would see an explosion. I actually think this is the next wave. Everybody talks about Metaverse. I think AR is the Metaverse.
Yeah, so I'm not too familiar with that industry, to be frank. But right now, from what I understand, it's this competition between like AR, VR, and XR. And what seems to be here today, just like machine learning is to AI, is AR, because everybody has a mobile phone. And just like you have OCR technology or Google Lenses, you could actually you have the technology as it is to be able to impose augmented reality with your phone, or whatever smart tech Google Lenses that you have, right? So that's in the here and now, whereas VR is a little bit more far into the future.
Well, I think if the best way I can kind of sort of simplify that is actually fundamentally there is no difference between AR and VR. Same software, same hardware. The real difference is in VR, you don't have probably the amount of resources going on, the same amount of resources developing a VR environment, because a VR environment is immersive. It's entirely created from scratch, whereas in AR, you're layering on top of a physical environment. And so in that sense, it's easier to execute. Also right now, because you don't have marketplaces, you don't really have a lot of people developing for these ecosystems. They're all siloed, right? So you have Oculus, you have HEC, you have all these other stuff, and they're trying to internally build these environments, and that doesn't scale. So really, if you want an open environment where everybody's creating something, you have to incentivize the creators at a ground level. Hey, why am I going to make this AR lens? Why am I going to make this, whatever the AR application is? How are they going to monetize that? So by creating the ecosystem, an open standard, you're now creating a supply demand side market. And that's the opportunity. And no one's really executed well. And I think that's I think that's the next wave. if that makes sense.
Yeah, is that something that you guys are innovating towards as a project, or is that just something that you're seeing in the space?
100%, 100%. I mean, personally, I'm a very big picture guy. I get out of bed for the big picture. I mean, as much as I love what we're doing with Dode, again, it's how do you start small and sort of, again, establish that proof of concept, show everybody the big idea, and then use this as a way, as a momentum builder to that bigger concept.
Absolutely. I love it. So, just as a closing statement, what's the story behind DJz of DGEN? You know, what's the lore, and where did you get the idea of imposing like a fox or a what is your face?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually not that sexy. But I mean, if you want to, I haven't come up. Well, there's the lore, there's the real story, and then the lore that we sort of built around it. But initially, the project sort of spun this idea. It was called CDs, it's crypto derivatives, and I was like, hey, you know, I was trying to go old school with the '80s retro stuff, and I'm like DJs, CDs, and then we were DJz of DeFi initially, and then I'm like, you know what, that's kind of weird. Let's just do DJz of DGEN. So we kind of just changed the back end of it a little bit, but I think ultimately the core and the ethos of what it is tapping into one, I mean, just the general crypto ethos of like rebellion. Hey, we're going to go out there, we're going to do stuff. And then, you know, being a child of the '80s, looking at what really brought us together as kids. And it was just like this nostalgic, you know, '80s movies. And so we had this concept called the Last Arcade. And I remember simpler times, you'd go to the arcade and you play Pac-Man, Defender, Galaga, all these things. So this idea of being able to recreate a community virtually through you know, an arcade environment. So that's sort of the lore of it. That's kind of where we were going from a sort of big, I didn't want to get too cheesy about it, but I think that's where we wanted to sort of let our imaginations roam. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely play to people's nostalgia. I'm also a millennial myself, and so all those vintage games that you mentioned kind of hit my nostalgia nerve. So okay, well, thank you, MC Liquid, for coming on. We're gonna have our next guest, Maria from Women from Cosmos, come up, and we're gonna showcase that PFP project. Hi, Maria.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming on. So very excited to showcase your project. It's such, I mean, I had been simping for your project ever since I saw it on Stargaze. And so I'm just, you know, very excited to have you on. Such beautiful pieces of artwork. And anyone who sees my profile pic on Twitter right now, it's one of the cypherpunks that you made me. Yeah, with the laser eyes. So
Yes.
tell us your story, Maria.
Well, trying to, you know, making it short, let's say, well, I'm the founder, creator, like, you know, solo team, let's say, behind Women from Cosmos. You know, being a one-on-one artist, when I realized that the Stargaze were thinking about to launch an NFT marketplace, me being a cosmonaut since, you know, like time ago, it was just the thing to go there, because I've been working on selling in Ethereum and on Tesos before. But, you know, as I was saying, like, I'm a cosmonaut. This was my opportunity to really create a bigger project, the biggest I've been done before. And actually, I wanted to do something new in the sense of, you know, bringing the one-on-one art to this kind of NFT world, in where you mostly will find like generative projects, which, you know, thousands of pieces, mixing the one-on-one art with, you know, giving it the PFP look. I think it has sense and it has to be done. So I created Women from Cosmos with the idea to showcase and also to, let's say, celebrate us, no, like empower and strong and unique women around the cosmos and, well, the universe. And with this collection, I wanted to make a scene actually, not only on the NFT space, but also in the crypto scene in general, because seriously, you know, like the percentage of women representation is almost nothing in this industry. I think in
Yeah.
all of them, but you know, like I wanted to do my part in that fight, let's say. So I created this collection. It is, as I said, like one-on-one collection. This means that every piece, even if they look, you know, like similar, all of them, it's being done like manually, one by one, from the bottom to the top. I wanted to create the main collection of 100 pieces. Right now, we had 2 different drops. Well, we reached to be one of the Genesis creators on Stargaze, and with that, I'm really, really grateful for that, about the community. And then we launched the last drop, was last Friday, actually. It is already sold out, so there is just one more drop coming in with the last 15 pieces. I decided to give it, you know, like a lore. Let's say, like I divided in different races. We have humans, we have cyberpunk, we have elves. We will have guardians and also goddesses, just to represent, you know, like different races, different worlds inside the Cosmoverse. And well, with this project, well, there are a lot of different plans behind. I will say to everyone who is interested to jump into our Discord, because you will find there everything. But if I have to point out something, it will be like the Women from Cosmos Give Back, which is the core, the main core behind this project, and is based to give back to community, to help other women along this wild path of the NFTs. With that, and actually we are about to start with it, we will keep a percentage of the last sales, and we will create a community wallet. We're gonna purchase different NFTs from female artists. We're gonna raffle them between all holders, so we can also, you know, like contribute to their path, also to continue bringing value to the NFT world. As I said, no, like trying to help other women alone, I think is key for this project. I'm really excited. Like, as I said, we're just missing one drop, but this is just the beginning. Like we have the Genesis, with being in NFT Liverpool, choose by Paris Hilton. I had to say, because I still cannot believe it. We had this last drop. There are a lot of plans. Like this is just the beginning, and there are gonna be a lot of women from Cosmos around. So, you know, just if you're interested in whatever, you will find everything on our Discord.
Can you elaborate on the Paris Hilton thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I had to mention, because seriously, I'm still dreaming about it. So it was this, you know, like call out to creators for NFT Liverpool, which was, well, it is still going on till August, I think. There is a private gallery where different, you know, creators are being showcases. I think it was around 3,000 something people who applied. We were chosen by Paris Hilton, because she was one of the curators, let's say, one of the people in charge to select, you know, the pieces. So we've been selected. It was really cool, because I had already, you know, some of my work showcased in different exhibition, but I didn't have the chance to be in person because I'm living in Europe. So obviously back then was in America. It wasn't that close at this time, so I could go there. I saw my pieces there, and it was really, really cool, because, you know, like seeing that your work now is being recognized is just so cool. I'm so grateful for that.
Absolutely, it's very rewarding. So
yeah, it is.
yeah, can you just give us a story about what the different races are? There's the human, the elves, goddesses, guardians, and cyberpunks.
Yeah. So, well, as I said, it was just, to try to create a story. Like, we are talking about the Cosmoverse, in where obviously it's supposed to be different worlds, different galaxies and so on, and also different races. Also, I wanted also to give it kind of a rarity, because, being a one-on-one project, if you have to speak about rarity of the pieces, how will you do? Because all of them are unique, all of them are created, like one by one and being exclusive. So you cannot really separate them. So I wanted to give that kind of rarity, let's say, between the pieces. So obviously we have more humans than the rest of the races. And then, like the different, like cyberpunk, that were the next step, a more advanced race from the humans. Then we have the elves, which are like elves of light and dark elves. The guardian, which the guardians in my mind, they are like the guardian of the cosmos. They call guardians, but they are really known as constellation. So it's gonna be really cool to draw them. And then we have the goddesses. And goddesses, I wanted to relate them more with, the image we have of a woman. So we will have the moon, sun, obviously Venus, Earth, the Milky Way. So yeah, I mean, this is just, as I said, the beginning of a story I'm creating. I don't want to say, something that I don't have completely tied up yet, but there are a lot of different plans. So yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride for sure. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. And it the difference in artwork of each NFT really demonstrates your creativity, because they're wearing all types of different garb, and then you're creating different races with different backstories to each of them. I wonder if different ones are more rare than the other ones, or are their attributes just different?
Well, I think none of them has the same attributes. As I was saying, no, like being one-on-one is not that easy to separate. But for example, humans are more common just because of the quantity, actually, not because they have different attributes, just the quantity of the total of the pieces. And obviously the goddesses, they're only gonna be 5, so they're gonna be like the most exclusive. Well, apart of that, all the pieces, they have their own description and their own story behind. So each woman, apart of being from one race, they have their own story. So it's like trying to, give them life, let's say, make them more personalized. So people can really, let's say like fit, maybe that woman could fit more into their life and so on.
Very exciting. Well, thank you, Maria, so much for letting us showcase your project.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on. So we're going to have Orbital Apes come on next, and we're going to show all the apes what you're in for. Hey, Orbital Apes. So we've got a couple of Anons in here, including you.
Sorry, Chango. Thank you for having us, but yeah, Anon for now.
Yeah, thank you so much. So how do we see your project? And Orbital Apes is on EVMos, right? You're one of the first NFT projects on there because it's such a new blockchain. Tell us about that. And can you show us some visuals of more of the apes?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me start sharing the screen. I'm gonna showcase the Orbital Apes website. Can you see it here?
Yes, it says, welcome to Orbital Apes. And
Perfect.
This is the ape project that we alluded to in my interview with Fede in the past EVMos podcast. So be sure to check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, actually, we were watching that interview and we were extremely excited for you to notice us.
Well, yeah, anything that has to do with apes is going to be a killer project, really.
Yeah, this we hope is a killer project.
So where did you get
It's-
the idea from, and what inspired the texture and the artwork that is displayed here?
Okay, so basically, like we've seen from history in every chain, like apes are usually a super important figure. Like we've seen from the examples of Bored Ape, Yacht Club, how strong a community can become following apes. It's also a kind of a meme at this point, like Ape In and all of this like pop culture forms a great community in the chain. So we decided to go with apes. So our team is basically composed of 9 people, half are like 5 are devs, 4 are design. So we try to create the most innovative design for apes. So we wanted to go all in on the design. So we decided to 3D render every single ape to provide the art quality that people demand at the moment. Because right now, if you want to be successful, you gotta exceed every expectation. So that's where we started. And then, since for a new project to be successful, you really need to dedicate your time to utility, because JPEGs right now are not everything that people are looking for. So we're trying to build an ecosystem more than an NFT collection. So Orbital Apes, it initially came to be as sort of the face for the project, for the ecosystem. We see this as a big plus because by having people like mint the apes and have them as profile pictures, we establish a big presence on the chain. So by having our signature style of the ape as profile pictures of 10,000 people, because that is our supply, like we're going to establish a presence in the chain. And this also helps people form a community, because they know, like, if another person has an ape, then they share similar ideals, they're going to be on the same Discord, they're going to talk to you. So all of this helps build a strong community, and that's the foundation of the project. But apart from this, like, we didn't want to stop in just an NFT collection. We wanted to fill this up with utility. So normally what happens with an NFT collection is that they do the mint, and then after that they can take several months for a roadmap or for completing even the first goal. So for us, the team is extremely excited to build. It's a lot of devs in here, and we're all crazy about building, especially in EVMos. So what ended up happening is that our marketplace and our validator came before the mint. Like right now, we're waiting for the perfect conditions to start the minting for the project to be successful. But several things have happened, and we ended up releasing our NFT marketplace, which is the only NFT marketplace on EVMos that has a trading volume. So we basically capture the community for them to trade with us. And our validator, which I can show, is top 3 on the chain. So this was bootstrapped from 0 to 150 to be on the active block. And then it was all the community just trusting us with their EVMos, trusting that we were going to do the best for them. And we landed top 3 in less than 2 weeks. So it's extremely exciting, the type of community we've built. At the moment, we've acted on every single proposal, 9 out of 9, because we plan to keep the community involved. One of the main things we've done for the people that stake with us is in our Discord, we created a delegator role. So everybody that stakes with Orbital Apes will get a delegator role in our Discord. So this enables them to access a separate channel where we provide them with polls, signaling all the proposals in the chain. So instead of them having to go to the dashboard and voting for the important things in EVMos, they can simply go to our Discord with a community that they're already talking with, and they can vote in the polls. And whatever the vote is, the Orbital Apes validator will vote for them. So this is one of the things we're doing to create engagement with the community to the chain. So it's important that the people that are using EVMos are able to influence what's going to happen in the future. So this is sort of us bridging the gap between like super tech and just like communities. So here's how we're bringing people to governance in a simple and gamified way. So
I see.
that's our validator. Like that's one of the parts of the project. In here, what we are doing is from the mint, like every ape holder is going to be entitled to 50% of the management fees, which are at 5% here. So basically, the more delegations we get here, the more our holders will get. So it's a way to continue to incentivize people to join the project, to form part of the community, and continue going through the Orbital Apes experience. So
And
this is
sorry,
one of the aspects.
can you elaborate on how apes are able to receive some of the management fees?
Yeah, sure. So for the Orbital Apes, the centerpiece of everything in the ecosystem is the NFT. So here we created our smart contracts for, like, the holder is automatically entitled through basically the code in the smart contract to get fees from everything we have built at the moment and we're gonna build in the future. So here, for example, if you go to the Orbit Marketplace, which I'm going to introduce in a second, you can go to rewards. And here you're going to see everything that's been created by the marketplace and the validator, and you're going to be able to claim. So if you hold an NFT, you're going to be able to claim any rewards that you're entitled to.
Okay, so EVMos, can you elaborate on that? So is that wrapped EVMos that they're going to be receiving?
Exactly. So right now, because of how it works, like for us to, for example, in the marketplace, whenever we create an offer, we have to do it in wrapped EVMos because this will enable us to authorize the token from the wallet of the user to basically retrieve it once an order is made. So wrapped EVMos comes from Nomad. Nomad is a bridge currently working in EVMos, helping connect Ethereum and EVMos. They created this wrapping contract basically. So it's gonna help us wrap EVMos to wrapped EVMos and shift it the other way. So you can do all of this in our platform. So basically,
is your marketplace exclusively for Orbital Apes, or are
no.
you also onboarding other NFTs? So you've built the marketplace for EVMos NFTs. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually right now our marketplace is dominating. It's the only one that has trading volume because we have been able to create a community around it. We're listing every single collection. So here you can see everything that's going on in EVMos. You can see the volume, the items, every listing. So basically right now here is where every trade is happening. And yeah, so it's not exclusive to Orbital Apes. This is always going to be the home of Orbital Apes and where our users can come claim their rewards and interact with their NFTs, but it's open for all the community. We want to be the main marketplace where everybody can list, everybody can trade, and create a community around NFTs.
So does it mean that anybody who holds an Orbital Ape gets to partake in all of the fees that are taken from this platform?
Exactly. So Orbital Ape holders as a collection, they are entitled to 20% of the marketplace fees. So any trading volume you see here, 20% is redistributed to Orbital Apes holders. So the more volume we capture here and everything that's happening in the development of the marketplace is going to continue to help apes get more rewards.
And is this all done automatically, or are Orbital Apes holders supposed to do something to opt in and stake?
No, this is automatic. Like, we don't need people to stake. As soon as one transaction happens, every single holder will get their rewards here in the dashboard. So basically,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
so
if I trade
they just
something right now, they can claim it in a
right.
second.
So they just connect their wallet to the marketplace, and then they're going to see the fees add up.
Exactly.
Very cool. Okay. So Scott Nicky asks, is it permissionless? to list a NFT project on your marketplace?
So for the moment, we're doing manual listings because we want to keep track of what's being added and everything, and kind of keep control of quality in the EVMos ecosystem. Right now, this is a new chain where we feel like we have a responsibility to source where every project we endorse comes from. So right now, what we offer is everybody that wants to list with us can basically fill a form and we're gonna list them. But we kind of go through the contract, we go through the specifics of the collection, because since this is part of our brand, we want to make sure our user is protected up to some degree. So we do have some sort of curation for the content we publish, and we publish what we think is good. For example, if an NFT has a good contract, they have a solid roadmap, and we see they're gonna meet the expectations of the user, then we're glad to list it. If not, we're either gonna help them improve their contract or improve their offerings or anything and provide guidance, or we're gonna help them develop the full thing. But we're trying to keep everything safe for our users, because like the whole premise behind EVMos is the reg drop and all the gas fees that have been spent on all the waste. So we kind of want to keep the same ideology of like keeping the user safe and presenting them with premium content.
Sure. Yeah, you want to be sure to curate a list of hopefully blue chip NFTs and not any of the crap ones.
Yeah, ideally.
Mm-hmm. Aki G asks, when is the mint date and mint price?
Okay, so all of this, like we've been through a roller coaster basically right now in the market. We've always have the idea that for us to present a mint date and a mint price, we had to be 100% sure that that date was not going to change and that the mint price was fair for what we're offering and what people are going to get. So we haven't made any official announcements on that. EVMos is a new chain. We're waiting for the IBC bridge to come in, like for people to be able to claim their drops from Kepler. So there's a couple of elements that have to be completed before we can announce anything. And we're continuously analyzing the market right now with the Terra situation. We have continued to analyze how we're going to launch it because we really want to make this a success. So we feel it's more responsible for us to take a bit of time to analyze, to assess the situation, to make an official announcement, because once we make it, we're not going to change it. So we need to be 100% sure. Right now, there's some measures we're taking, like reducing the price. We're trying to create more incentives for people to be able to make more out of the collection. So the team is busy building new features and everything that we can create before mint for people to be able to do better with a collection. So all of this is undecided for now, but as soon as the market conditions are optimal, we will make an official announcement.
Let me ask you this. How do you think that the projects that have achieved blue chip status that were launched on Ethereum in 2017, 2018, how did they become blue chip in 2021 and 2022?
Okay, so one of the major factors was being early in the chains. Like projects that released early were present at the beginning, so they had ample time to build a community. But I think the main focus is to bring utility to people. Like, it's one thing to create a nice piece of art, and it's another thing to create a whole ecosystem behind the project. For the Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example, it's not necessarily a DeFi ecosystem, but they keep providing value to people with exclusivity, with perks, and things that attract major players into the market. So you always have to keep that community in mind, because they're ultimately going to be the life of the project. So as long as you keep providing people something that creates value for them, something that they can see themselves investing in the long term, then you're going to be successful. So this is what we're trying to build right now. It's not a short-term project that we're just gonna create the mint and then hope the JPEGs are nice enough for them to create value, but we're actually providing them with a marketplace and a validator and even a play-to-earn game in the future. And all of this is gonna help the ecosystem grow. The NFT is the primary step, the link between everything, but the ecosystem is a monster, we could call it. It's going to continue growing. We're going to continue to add more features, and this is what brings value. You need something that will endure in the long term, not something that is just a one-time hit.
Yeah, definitely. And humans are social animals too. So in any project where you're able to build up a cult-like following, that's where you're going to get all of the network effects to accrue to. So yeah, that's definitely very interesting. So the play to earn game, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so the play to earn game, first of all, it's currently under development. Right now, we can comfortably say that the marketplace is ready, the validator is ready, the minting contracts are ready. We're just waiting for the optimal time. So now,
but what do people do in this play to earn game, and how does it tie into their Bored Ape NFT? Sorry,
okay, so
Orbital Ape NFT.
Right now, we're fully building the game. So how it's going to interact with the ecosystem is that basically every ape holder right now is going to get a set of airdrops, which are going to be tokens for the game. So they can, if they hold an ape at the time of the snapshot for the airdrop, they're going to immediately receive their coins for them to mint this new collection of apes, which are going to be fully compatible with the game.
Okay.
All of this is going to be a free airdrop, so every holder that has the apes at the moment is going to have free access to the game and everything that it includes. So the game is a play to earn idle game. So we decided to do this because it's accessible to everyone. It's going to be web based, so you can just go to the website we're going to create, and then you're going to have the dashboard for everything surrounding the game. So here, for the main premise, it's going to be the lore behind Orbital Apes. So basically, the Orbital Apes were here before the cosmos formed. They saw everything happen. They started developing factions, and there's 6 factions that all grew with different mindsets, and all of these came to a point where they were fighting each other over how to conquer the rest of the cosmos. So from here, the story spawns, and you start basically aligning with the faction you believe is the best, and you start developing a team. So the Orbital Apes game, Orbital Apes Odyssey, is going to be played with 3 characters. Here, the 3 characters is a choice for you to be able to build strategy behind the game. So by having a squad of 3 apes, you're going to be able to mix different stats and attributes that come assigned to every single ape to build a proper team. So this comes into play when you go into activities. For example, we have terraforming, which is conquering a planet. You have raiding, which is going and stealing the resources of someone that's already conquering a planet. And then you have the cantina, which is basically a place where you can go rent or hire an ape to do mercenary work. So people in a terraform may hire one of these mercenaries to protect their terraform, or people in a raid may hire one of these mercenaries to help attack a terraform. So this creates a couple of different elements. You're going to have the strategy to build a team with the right stats to terraform, to defend against other people, to have enough defense for you to go through the terraform mission without being attacked. You're going to have another element, which is where you can have enough attack to be able to go into any terraform and completely steal their resources and then be dominant. And you're going to have the idle type of gameplay where you just lend your team to the cantina, and you can have, basically, you're just putting your apes into the cantina, and you don't have to do anything, but they're still generating revenue for you. So if you put them in a contract for them to lend it to other teams for a certain price, then you're gonna keep collecting this price as long as you have them inside. So we have an approach for people that want to be completely hands-on with the game, and for people that just want to invest on it and keep their apes generating something for them, but they don't have to be really hands-on. So we're trying to incorporate every element for different types of play styles.
So is this a real-time strategy game or more like a persistent one like World of Warcraft? What is it?
No, so this is just gonna be idle. So basically, you have to make a choice, and then you're gonna have a certain duration of each activity. So here, like, if anybody wants to dig in depth on how the game works, we have prepared several Medium articles detailing everything of how the game is gonna work. But what we're trying to do is something that people don't have to be on top of it all the time. So you're gonna go to your dashboard, you're gonna see all the terraform missions, for example. So which planets you can conquer. So you're gonna decide the planet, you're gonna send your squad to do it. They're gonna take, let's say, 3 hours to terraform the planet. After this planet is terraformed, you're gonna get a reward in the form of tokens. So you're gonna get the governance token and the in-game currency. So this
Do you
way,
lose tokens if somebody came and attacked your terraform and stole it?
yeah. So the way this works is you're always gonna get a reward, but it depends. For example, if you terraform a planet and someone comes and attacks you and they win, then you're gonna get a reduced reward, but you're
Oh.
always gonna be rewarded for your time. So then here's a trade-off between just terraforming, which is something you can do automatically without, it doesn't matter your level, you can just go to any planet. Or if you're raiding, you have to be a similar or higher level than the people that are terraforming. So
Uh-oh.
that's the only way you will win. So this creates the sense of strategy. So if you manage to get the right apes, create an invincible team, then you can just go terraform whenever, and you can be sure that no one will attack you. But if you
Okay.
have sort of a weak team, then you can maybe be incentivized to just hire them, like rent them, or try attacking other people, because there's always going to be a factor of chance. So all of this comes into play into the strategy, and part of the game is going to be like a new version of our marketplace that incorporates to the apes. So you're going to be able to trade your apes for others. You're going to be able to get the right ape to complement the stats of your team. So all of this is going to incentivize trading, moving your apes, developing your team, and acquiring more. So it's like a loop in the ecosystem.
Right. So it sounds like it's an interactive one, right? You want to get teammates that are also as strong as you are, and then go and team together to raid somebody else's team.
Exactly.
Very
so
fun.
Here, yeah, we hope it's going to be fun. We're excited to launch it because also us, we want to play it. We're extremely excited.
Yeah, I would definitely play this game as well. Okay, any last remarks, Sir OA?
I mean, here, something we would love to show is like the honorary apes collection. Like, this is where we're putting everybody that we feel is important in the Cosmos ecosystem. We've dedicated some of our time
There's
to
a
create
Washington right there.
NFTs. Here's a really special one.
Very cool.
Yeah, so
Look at
here,
that.
like, here you can see features of our marketplace. For example, we have all the attributes, rarity. You can see the activity of everything that's happened. We're gonna graph this with historic values of everything that's happened. So the marketplace is gonna become a tool for people to explore collections, know what's happening, like what was the mint price, how it's moved through time. So it's gonna become a trading tool. So it's the Orbit marketplace is going to be everything you need if you're into NFTs. So in this chain, whenever you need to know anything about any collection, any NFT, you can come here and have a full dashboard that explains what's happened before with the NFT for you to make a choice of where to go, where to invest. And this is something we're excited to build.
Yeah, this is like the Zillow.com for NFTs.
Pretty much.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Orbital Apes. We are going to have Alpha Centaurians up next, and they are our last NFT showcase. Thank you for all the alpha, sir. That was some good stuff. Teaches, I want this. Will you sell me, Changle? Never. She's going to be my avatar for when I play the play to earn. So you could team up with me, though. All right, Sir Alpha Centaurians.
Hello, nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, you're one of the earliest Genesis mints on Stargaze as well. Can you show us your PFP project? Sorry, is it would you consider yourself a PFP project, or is it an artwork project?
Well, I kind of think of it a little bit of both. It's definitely a PFP design. The art was extremely important to get that to speak the language of interstellar travelers. And of course, our project has utility built in as well. So it's kind of all of those three things. But definitely like the PFP because I think people can share those on their social media sites, and it just it's a sort of a form of your personality. So definitely was a focus for us, as well as getting the artwork right. I guess I can, if I share my screen, I can put on, let's see. Okay, is this allowable? Share, okay. I don't know if I can share it right at the moment, but what I could probably do then is give you the link to the site here. Let me put that in. Yeah, so we basically, I gave you a link just because it's not working at the moment.
Yep.
Where you can see our app store on the launchpad, on the Stargaze launchpad. Yeah, so I mean, we were, I've been looking at NFTs for a number of years. It's pretty new, it's a couple of years, and very interested in it, and interested in the value proposition of NFTs, and sort of monitoring that. And then I'm kind of involved in the IBC and feeling for everyone in our community these last 2 days. But as you said before, we'll get through it. What goes down must go up. What goes up must go down. But when I saw Stargaze planning their platform, I decided that was a good place to begin this project. And I think their theme of the cosmos, of space, stargaze, stars, solar system, galaxies, the universe, really resonated with me. Because in addition to an interest in art, I'm very interested in, astrobiology, and the potential for life in the universe. And I think, we certainly can't be the only ones here. So the concept here was basically to imagine what the first group of star travelers from our nearest star, might be like.
Oh, from Alpha Centauri.
Yeah, exactly, right. So the closest star, 4.3 light years away, 3-star system, and we've actually directly observed a planet in the habitable zone around one of the 3 stars. So there could very well be life there, and so that was really the concept behind this project.
So these are the races of life forms that you imagine might exist in that habitable zone.
Yeah. It's basically, the idea is these are, sentient creatures, with, that are intelligent like us. And the idea is they may have evolved 1 million years before we did. And so what would happen? How would they have advanced their technology to the point they would have seen our planet just the way we've seen theirs? They would have known it's here, and they would eventually outgrow their own planet, as very well we might. And so what would they do? And so they would come here. And that's kind of the concept behind it. And, we wanted to, limit the collection, not be one of these 10,000 unit collections, but try to, we stuck with pi as best we could. So
314.
Yeah. So we had 314, and we built a really great community behind that. And we sold it out in 3 minutes. So we were pretty happy about that.
Yeah. Are there certain attributes that are more rare than others, making one more valuable than another?
Yeah. So we have basically like 10, I think 7 categories of assets. And then within each category, 7 different potential, attributes. And so there is, a rarity structure. There's they're all ranked, from 1 to 314. And of course, the marketplace for Stargaze hasn't launched yet, but I understand the beta is supposed to come out in the next probably 4 days. So, we're certainly hoping to have a high floor price. We also really, we wanted people to hold these. We really built the whole concept of the community in terms of utility, in that, owning one of these gives you some special items. In our Discord, of course, we have the ability to, people can use a bot to prove that they own one with their wallet, and connecting their wallet, and they can prove they own one, and then they get special access to our DAO channel, and where we're voting on proposals there. And we also, though we don't have our own validator node yet, we have a partnership with Citadel One, and they're basically splitting the commissions with us on all of the staking that we've done with them. And so those commissions go back to our DAO treasury for the DAO to decide, what to do. And also, we're planning a wave 2 of the alphas, and that'll be later in the year. And in the wave 2 mint, everyone who owns one of the originals, the OGs, will get a free airdrop of the new NFT.
Well, very cool. It sounds like your DAO is an active place for engagement. What sorts of things do you guys discuss over there?
Yeah, so we sort of originally began by just sort of after the mint and after being able to confirm everybody's ownership, we went on and started to determine how we're how often we're going to raise proposals, what sort of quorum we needed for that. We sort of voted on those things, and now we're doing these monthly. We're getting funds into the DAO treasury each month. So each month we report on that and decide, what would we like to do with those funds. We could continue to stake them, which was what we did the first month. And that maybe the plan is to continue to stake and grow. I mean, obviously the market has gone down so much lately. Hopefully in the later in the year things will pick up again. We'll have more value again. So so holding it in staking right now makes the most sense, and that's what we're working on. And we're sort of really haven't talked too much about what wave 2 is going to be, but that's coming along. We have some really cool ideas for that. And also beyond that.
Is this something that you're able to elaborate on?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a great place to, sort of let out a little alpha. What we're thinking of doing in wave 2, we really haven't talked about this, is we'd like to have, these are males. And so this first wave are basically like the warriors. They're the Marines, if you will. They're the initial expedition coming out of Proxima B to come to the Earth and get it prepared.
Okay, they're the equivalent of our astronauts and the trailblazers, basically.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. But they're a little mean, you know. They're very militaristic. They've got guns, some of them, and you know, they mean business, and they need to use the earth for their people, if we call them people, which I probably wouldn't. But
Okay, so they're gonna come and fight the Earthlings and take over our territory.
yeah, they're going to basically, you know, be the initial wave to get the planet ready for their beings. And wave 2 is basically going to be males, females, and children. So they're the families that are going to come. And so that's who they represent. There'll be a larger number of those. And from there, you know, we're probably going to offer, you know, spawning. If you own a male and a female, you'll be able to get a child. And if you've gotten a family together, then you're going to have the chance to get real estate in a coming metaverse project, and that's even further down the road. So, you know, basically, this is a long-term plan. You know, as the previous speaker was mentioning, it's, you know, important. It's not just a one-off thing. We have a very long timeline, a roadmap for the project.
Is there something you could tell us about the Metaverse project?
Well, you know, that right now is, you know, we like the idea of, you know, sort of, I think the whole concept of metaverse, I know it's come up quite a bit in this show, you know, is very fluid right now. You know, no one really knows what that's going to be. And, you know, I certainly think that there might be representations of, you know, real life places, environments in the metaverse. And so one example might be, we could have the Alpha Centaurian's planet be in the metaverse. So you can, and that's, I think right now, we're at a concept stage, you know, and the teamwork to build that's going to take us definitely some time and some talent. And we're team building on that right now. And what will that represent? Well, you may be able to purchase a land, you know, on the Proxima B planet, which is yet to be named. And that could be a place where you could then, you know, build a home and have your family, and, you know, there could be all sorts of interactions with the other families and potentially a P2E game. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I wouldn't say that we've written the entire script at this point, but it's you know, I think the community is going to play a major role, what people want. And so now that we're talking about this, you know, we'll start talking more about it in our Discord. And, you know, work with our team and, you know, try to build something that people really want.
That's fun. So if you extrapolate on the family concept, the naturally occurring phenomenon is that families are going to unite, and then they're going to create tribes, and then tribes are going to fight with other tribes for territory and other resources. And then eventually, over time, as they pass their industrial revolution, they're going to form governments. Governments will go to war, and, you know, so on and so forth. You know that story.
Sure. Yeah, that's the reality.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This is very fun. I love sharing all of these projects, and it sounds like there's a lot to look forward to in the next, you know, 5 to 10 years of development. I assume all of you guys are going to be here building together with the rest of us. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, and yeah, that being said, this concludes the end of our stream. Thank you for everyone who's still listening and excited about the projects that you've seen today. Keep on building and, you know, keep staying strong. So yeah, if you aren't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do like this video so that we get more viewers onto this channel and get more of them to get the alpha download coming up at the next year. Even though it is a bear market, we are going to keep podcasting and keep sharing the alpha with you So do subscribe to this channel. I don't have a live stream coming up next week just because the month of May and early June is going to be a very busy conference circuit. So I'm going to be physically there at these conferences. I will do pre-recordings and share them on my YouTube channel instead of doing live streams. And we will be resuming live streams periodically, but not necessarily regularly. But we will be posting regular content of pre-recorded interviews. So stay tuned for the alpha. Thank you so much for staying on. Thank you, Brian, for being my show's producer. And yeah, may the force be with you. Bye.